Got it.
What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Ryan. It's great to have you with us. We're back on Pod and Long. He's back from the pup list. It's Greg. Killer Greg 17.
I'm
Welcome.
alive. I'm here.
You're
I
back.
have a voice again. It's great.
You can talk.
Yeah.
Also joining us, our other co-host. He is ready to take a bowling ball shot, but not go through a flaming table quite yet. It's Megastar Mark.
We got to get some games under our belt before I go through a flaming table. And you know, the nice thing about the bowling ball shot, pick whatever liquor you want. I don't care. You could, do you want to mix gin, vodka, and rum? I'll do that. That's no problem. At that point, I'm already like 12 beers in, so I don't even taste anything. I want to point out, by the way, Greg, you're lucky that you're not on a Belichick coach team, because he would have just sent you out there. He would have just had you record in the state you were in. Wouldn't even care. You could have been like, he'd been like, "Are you ready to go?" And you would have been like, "Dogs smell like bananas," and you're like, "You're good, kid. Get on out there."
Great. That's the first play.
Correct. Now block better.
Wipe that blood from your nose first.
Belichick's a big trumper, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
With no proof. Yes.
No, I think he
probably
is.
He probably is. He's the worst, so sure.
Did you see him during the first? Did you see him like what he looks like lately? Like during training camp, that dude has lost a shit ton of weight.
Has
like
he?
Yeah,
Trump?
Not Trump.
He's who's playing weight.
Yeah,
they need a third offensive coordinator. Maybe they bring Trump in to do that.
It was though he's lost so much that it was like medical question weight. Like it was just like, ooh, wait a minute.
Wowzers.
Yeah,
are you okay?
Yeah, he says he is, but you never know. Belichick is, God knows. Men could have space aids, and we would have no idea.
We would have no idea. We're here to talk about the NFC over-unders. Last time we did the AFC. You can go back and check that out in the feed or on YouTube. Our YouTube Pod and Long. You can go there and subscribe. Check it out.
I'm gonna throw some extra sauce onto this.
Ooh.
I'm actually gonna put my money where my mouth is here. So as we go through today, I am going to place bets, actual money bets on what we discuss.
Okay.
I have gone through last week and I have placed my AFC bets again.
Okay. All right.
So as we go through tonight, I believe what I tell you. I'm putting my bets in tonight.
Money where your mouth is.
At least $5.
Yeah. That's some conviction, dude.
At least.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
I like it.
I put $5 on all the other ones except for one. I wish I should look it up what it was. It was a late one in the thing here.
Did you go higher or lower on it? Did you?
I went way higher.
Okay.
What was it? You can start talking. I'll tell you.
Okay, we're gonna begin in the NFC North.
It was Cleveland. It was
Cleveland.
Oh,
right.
The line right now is 8.5.
8.5.
So I put an extra 20 on the under on that.
I'm about to say let's do Cleveland because we didn't really get to do Cleveland, right? Because
I think we said whatever it ends up being the under.
Yeah, it's going to be under.
We now have an 11 game suspension, right?
Yeah,
is that what it is? 11 games for Deshaun, which may be extended if he doesn't complete his sensitivity training or whatever they said.
What a joke!
Which he's definitely not gonna do sensitivity. Right? There's no way we're not gonna get the catch up on that. Actual facts about what he did, but it is possible if he blows those off that his suspension could be extended, but I doubt it.
I know we're going to talk about the NFC and we'll get to it, but I got to talk about Deshaun real quick. That interview that he did enraged me after the 11 game suspension, where he talked about not wanting to put himself in any further bad situations. I'm like, motherfucker, you were the one who put those women in those bad situations. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, man has no remorse.
Right. Exactly. It's one of those well, I mean, if I'm alone in a room, of course I'm going to rape her.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but the answer is obvious. I just shouldn't be alone in a room.
Right. It was your mistake for not watching me. I mean, after the first handful, the Texans knew I was doing this. It's kind of it's everyone's fault but my own. That's really what it boils down to.
Right.
Scumbag.
Yeah.
The Browns. I hope he plays, and I hope he loses every game he plays in.
He didn't look very good in that preseason game. I got to be honest.
He didn't.
But no, he was 1 for 5 for like 2 yards. Whoa. Are we sharing?
Oh, hey now. That's a chunky.
This is the meme that needs to be shared for Deshaun Watson. I'm trying to find out the guy who did this.
Yeah,
who drove through the store in the hot dog costume.
That show is hysterical.
That's one of the best shows.
Oh my god,
a long fucking time.
I quote the Chunky episode where they're doing the game show and they just don't know how the game show works. I quote that episode all the time. Don't come over here.
Yeah, I think you should leave. Did we actually say what we were talking about?
I think you should leave. Yeah, that's the name of the show. It's on Netflix.
That show's insane. I mean, it's not for everybody. It is.
It's wacky. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That one is that particular skit is hilarious.
Yeah. When it hits, though, it is
agreed.
Anyway,
absolutely. All right.
Let's go on the old Norris division.
Let's go to the NFC North. Let's do this. Green Bay Packers. We're starting with them. It's an over under of 10.5 games. Aaron Rodgers is a maniac.
Yep.
Showed his true colors last year of being a weird liar and being a weird dick about, won't I be back? Ends up coming back, and then it was just hysterical to me that Devontae Adams was like, nope, I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Devontae Adams would rather go play with Day or like with a car than stick around with Aaron Rodgers insanity.
Right. And he was like, I definitely didn't think that was going to happen. Mm-hmm. Well, you're definitely a huge dick.
Sammy Watkins winds up in Green Bay, huh?
Sammy Watkins.
I love Sammy Watkins.
There's going to be 2.5 games where he's just going to be lights out, and then there's going to be 15 games where he doesn't play. So,
right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of rookie wide receivers in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. This is a tricky one to me.
Under. I'm going to go under because there's another team here that in this division that I particularly like. And we'll get to them obviously, but like something with the Packers makes me feel like this. I don't feel like they have the coaching to keep this team together past Aaron Rodgers' talent. I think like in one sense, Aaron Rodgers really is the MVP because you take him off the Packers and that team is 4-13. So I think as he gets older, as the talent around him thins out, I think that, even though he's going to get that offensive tackle back pretty soon, it just seems to me like a crumbling empire, and it's just like, it's going to happen one day. And I'm 10.5 is kind of lofty anyway. It might just be 10, but I'm going to go under.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm definitely in the under department with you. At least this division is not, maybe this division is good. Secret good. I think the Lions are going to be good. We'll get there in a second. I think the Vikings have potential. The Bears, who knows? I don't know. I think this is an under. I think this is a tough division, with certainly a lack of talent compared to previous years.
I guess the one thing that could change my thoughts are if they pick up Odell Beckham, which is a rumor. Which I think they probably need to do. If they had him, then I wouldn't feel so,
I think
weird about
Odell Beckham Jr. is probably going to Baltimore.
I think I heard the Colts. I heard that was another one that was floated out there because he's also playing in a dome, which would help him prolong a very injury-prone career. Playing outside of or inside.
I don't see Odell Beckham Jr. playing in Green Bay. Now, I do see potential. Like Green Bay fans love their players, so he's up. I mean, he's a little egotistical. I think a lot of wide receivers get a bad rep for that, but he's a little egotistical. He might want that Lambeau leap in his repertoire.
Sure,
but at the end of the day, I think he's just going to go where he gets to be flashiest, and that's probably not Green Bay.
Yeah, and also let's remember too, we won't even see him till December. So he's got to go to a playoff caliber team. So maybe that eliminates Green Bay when he gets close. There's no rush to sign Odell Beckham.
Is he injured or is he like a mercenary?
Or his ACL
he just shows up
in the Super Bowl. So I mean, that's
he did it in the Super Bowl. I didn't remember that. Oh boy,
so that's 9 months
at least
minimum. I mean, at least.
Right.
And everybody heals differently. So I mean, we won't see him until December, I think. But that's why I think Baltimore, I think is a really good idea, Greg, because they will be in the hunt. We talked about that in the last episode. So
all right, so are we sweeping under here, I guess?
Yeah,
because I just don't think like Christian Watson is going to be the guy, the rookie. I don't think there's any rookie on this team that makes a difference, really.
That big of a difference.
He's still Aaron Rodgers, but he can't throw the ball to Aaron Jones every play. It's not going to work. All right, so we're sweeping an under. We're going to the Minnesota Vikings. This is a very juicy one for me. 8.5.
Oh,
team
over.
Yeah, over. Yeah. This is a talented team.
Yeah, it really is. They were held back by Well, they are held back by
Coach.
real shitty coaching.
Yeah.
So like it can't be any worse.
Right. And they were on the bubble of that record anyway.
Yeah.
With the shitty coach. So
Right.
even if this guy's a little bit better, they're over.
I love the offense. Dalvin Cook, I think, often gets forgotten when everyone talks about best running backs. And I mean, Derrick Henry, obviously amazing. Jonathan Taylor, great player. I think people just brush aside Cook, and he's probably the most like explosive running back I've seen in the NFL right now. Somebody who can take the ball and go immediately 80 yards. He could also go -2, but you know that you take that as you get it. Justin Jefferson is amazing. Defense is underrated. They brought in some really good guys along the D line this year. I like the Vikings quite a bit. I have them winning the North. I really like them.
Winning the North? Yeah, I guess so.
I think so.
I guess I can see that. Yeah.
I think you're right.
They have a new stadium, Minnesota. I think they do. Like
relatively
3 years ago,
relatively new.
Their old stadium literally collapsed on itself.
Yes, it did. This is the division of weird stadium shit, because the Metrodome had multiple weird things happen with it over the years. And then we get to Detroit. They had some funny stuff happen in their stadium. We'll get there in a minute.
I like how Detroit Stadium basically caused two great generational players to say, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah, enough of this.
Yeah, not doing this anymore.
All right, Minnesota on top of the division.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, it's his year.
I don't know if it's his year. He had a good year last year. He's always fine. I don't think they're going to win it all, but I think they could win this division.
He is a fine game manager. People rip on him because he's boring and whatever, but he does get a lot of garbage yards. But sometimes those garbage yards come when he's up, so that's fine.
I mean, his stats are good.
They are good. They're real good. Yeah,
he had 4,200 yards, 33 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions.
Yeah,
I think he's only played in like 1 playoff game though, or 2.
Yeah,
over his entire career.
But I think Greg nailed it. I don't think they're going to go far in the playoffs. I think maybe he does another one and then loses it. But I mean, I think they'll win this division.
That's a nice over. I feel like that's a bet for you, Greg. That's a $10.
I'm betting it's a 10 one. All right, I'm putting another
5 ski.
I'm putting another 5 on it. Here we go.
Yeah,
that might be a 10 ski.
All right. That's 10 total.
I'm really interested in these next 2.
I did really well in the Super Bowl last year, so I got a lot of money to burn.
There you go.
Gambling money. All right. Chicago. This team may be the worst team in the NFL after I've watched the preseason and kind of gone over their people. Like, they very well could be the worst team in the NFL, and it might not even be close. But the over under 6.5 games.
Yeah,
I don't think these people have any clue what they're fucking doing. That's the note I wrote down. They brought in a whole new regime.
Yeah,
the last regime was supposed to be idiots. New guys come in and nothing changes. It seems exactly the same.
It's so tough to get a new organization, a new front office, a new coach, a new offensive coordinator, defense, and then be ready to go right out of the gate. It's so hard, and especially since even teams that like you get a good team, a coach who inherits like the Cowboys or the Packers and a team that's already existing. It's tough to do that with the Bears, who just have a dearth of talent. Like there's nothing there. I mean, it's just.
I don't know if I wouldn't say dearth of talent. I think they have more offensive weapons than some of the teams we've talked about.
Who?
I think Darryl Mooney's a top tier wide receiver.
Maybe.
I think top tier. Let's say top 15.
No,
but no,
no, not a top 15. No.
All right. I think I'll come back to that.
Okay.
I think David Montgomery's a legitimate running back. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
look,
he belongs in the NFL if that's what you're saying. But I mean, like,
Darnell Mooney had 1,100 yards last year.
He did. Yes, he did.
I mean, that's legit. He didn't have a lot of touchdowns, but look who he had throwing to him.
I know, and it's a lot of those things. I got to see it again. I've seen a lot of 1-year wonders. So I mean, let's see if Allen Robinson's this. But
look, I'm not saying they're good, but we looked at like Texas. David Mills, Marlon Mack, Brandon Cooks, Nico Collins, Chris Conley. You're going to tell me that's worse than what Chicago has?
So
Chicago might not be good, but at least they have the potential.
Yeah, but would you say over 6? Was it 6.5 or 6?
It's 6.5. They don't do. Oh, actually, they did.
Yeah, one of them I saw.
DraftKings actually did give a 10 for some team.
I'm going under.
No, it's an under.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't care.
But I'm refuting dearth of talent.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think that is
some
the case.
talent.
I think they have some talent. I would rank them 25th on the talent scale.
Wow. Is Justin Fields good?
No.
Yeah, and they're not giving him any help either. Like, I mean, like argument's sake, we'll say Mooney does it again. We'll say Mooney can put up another 1,000-yard season, right? They didn't bring in anybody to help this guy out, to help draw any sort of attention away from Mooney. None. Yeah. They didn't bring any running back help. Didn't bring any receiver help.
And their front office is apparently impossible to deal with. And
we've already got the Roquan Smith.
That's what I'm thinking.
Situation.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what you would call it. It's not a holdout because he's there.
Right.
He said, well, yesterday he was just like, I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna play, show up my damnedest, and then cash out. I'm like, well, bet on yourself, man. I hear you.
But like, players don't want to play for teams that they don't feel appreciate them.
Yeah. Right.
When your best player is not asking for that much, and teams are like, no, we're just not in the mood. We're just not in the mood to talk to you.
Yeah.
In fact, we're going to make it as impossible as possible because you're actually representing yourself, and that's bad. That's bad. So eat a dick and fuck off.
Greg, this is why you should have been an owner. I feel like you have enough money now. Can't you just buy the Browns or, somebody who's going for sale? Seattle's probably up for sale soon. Why don't you buy Seattle?
Somebody just got bought, right? Was Denver?
Yeah, by Walmart. You're close, right?
By Walmart.
In terms of like year-end profit, you and Walmart.
I got that Walmart money.
Yeah, you're pretty close. So buy Seattle.
Just do it.
Moving to Baltimore.
We can be your front office.
Yeah, exactly.
Because certainly what they got going on now does not work.
1/2000th of an NFL team.
Could you buy an AHL team?
Well, yeah.
Just to let you know, if I was in your front office, I can be bought real easy by other teams giving away secrets.
We're not even that crazy. Like, a very good friend of mine, his father owned an AHL team.
Yeah.
So that's like very attainable. I know how much he makes. I could do that.
I could do that. All right. So we debate if the Bears are the worst team in the league or not. You say no, Greg.
I say no.
I say they might be. They very well could be.
They're in the running.
They're super dysfunctional too. At least the one thing I'll say about the Texans is like they seem to be like, yeah, man, we like Davis Mills. We like this coach. Let's go fight.
Lovie Smith. I'm all for Lovie Smith. I think he's a hell of a coach.
Right. And Chicago, it's like, who even is Chicago's coach? Can you name him?
No.
Yeah.
I can't name him off the top of my head.
Some white dude.
Matt Eberflus.
Is that real?
Yes.
Eberflus?
Eberflus. He was the Colts defensive coordinator for the last 4 years.
Eberflus.
That's
not good.
Colts defense are fine, but
okay. They're fine.
Where's Eberflus? I want to see if he's white or not.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Look.
Of course.
What do I know? All right.
What if his name was Maximilian St. Pierre Eberflus?
It's the NFL. They don't hire black coaches. Yeah. It's only like 2 every 10 years. All right. They were very interesting to me. And I'm very interested to see what happens there because it's not looking good for what they got so far. And I don't like Justin Fields very much. So I don't think he's going to change things and be like RG3, like going out there and winning games just by himself. I don't see that happening.
Maybe like RG3, he'll have a very promising broadcasting career when this is all done. Because I do love me some RG3 as an announcer.
Is he good?
He's fantastic.
Who's he announcing for?
ESPN.
Whoa. Good on him.
Yep.
He does college, I think.
Yeah, right? He does college football.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Fantastic. My favorite always was Kirk Herbstreit. I love Kirk Herbstreit calling football. When he occasionally does the NFL games, I adore it. He's great for college football. RG3 is right up there. He is fantastic.
This is mildly off topic. I'm throwing this out there and y'all might not agree with me. Pat McAfee, fucve love that dude.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
I love him.
I like him
very
as a wrestling
polarizing.
Announcer.
Very polarizing.
I like him as a wrestling announcer. So we have a friend. I won't call him out in person, but we have a friend who worked with Pat McAfee. And I'm always afraid that somebody I like is going to turn into a Joe Rogan, because there was a time where I actually liked Joe Rogan also, and now I would prefer he drive himself off a cliff. So I did actually ask my friend. I was like, "Listen, I like Pat McAfee. You've dealt with him on like an everyday, like a day-to-day basis. Am I cool like buying in on this dude?"
Can I
and he
still
was
like him?
Yeah, he's like, "Nah, he's a good dude." I'm like, "All right, good, because I'm in." But I like his football analysis. I love him on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I even like watching him wrestle.
Yeah,
he's not a bad wrestler.
His Twitter feed, like obviously a lot of it is his own show. He'll do clips of his show, but when he's just like randomly sitting at home and he sees like somebody punch really well, and then he does like a 45-second breakdown of the punch, hysterical. Like it's always good.
And I forget where this happened, but he told this story about a fake field goal. Have you seen this?
No.
Where there was this play for the Colts where if they had like a certain formation against certain teams, they would automatically call for a fake field goal run, and he would run. That was his responsibility because he was the holder, so he would pick it up and run. And so, especially against the Steelers, I guess. And so it gets the Steelers, and all the things happen, right? You need all these parameters to happen to do the fake punt or the fake field goal run. And he's like, "It's happening. It's happening." And he's looking on the field, and the gap that he's supposed to go down is blocked by Troy Polamalu. Famous safety with the long hair. Now he's just in the Head and Shoulders commercials, but a scary person, would jump over and like crush people over the line. And he sees him and he goes, "No!" He just stands up and, "We're not doing it." Kicking the fucking field goal. No. Sits down, takes a hold, they kick the field goal. He comes running off. I forget who the coach was at the time. It was the guy who had cancer. I can't remember his name now. I think
Dungy?
No, it was after
him.
Dungy.
Okay.
He's like a defensive coordinator. Anyway, I think he's still in the league somewhere, but he's like, "What the fuck happened, McAfee?" He goes, "Troy Polamalu I ruined my touchdown. I was gonna have a touchdown. That's my funny. Only chance to score. I feel
career. Like that's good on him, man. You gotta protect yourself.
It's like no audible though. Like just gonna move. Not fucking kicking it, or we're not running it.
I would go to the coach like, it's not like we have a backup punter, man. If I go down, like that's a whole aspect of the game that's not coming back. So I made the right call.
Right. All right. Let's move on to Detroit Lions. 6.5 or under. I think they're better than the Bears.
Yeah, I think they're better than the Bears.
Over.
I know it's tough.
I'm taking it.
They won 2 games. I
like. I'm buying in. I again. So I don't watch individual games. Like I get the red zone every year, which is now at this point just my preferred way to watch most football games, especially on a regular Sunday. So because of that, I wound up watching an insane amount of Detroit Lions games. Sure. Because all of their games were so close. Red Zone just focuses in on the most exciting game, even if it's between two shitter teams. I'm telling you, Detroit looked really good last year.
Yeah, there's something about them.
They just never. It was always the 68-yard field goal type situation for them. It was like once in a lifetime scenario that just never went their way. They had 7 games last year determined by a single possession or something.
Sure.
I believe this team. I like Jared Goff. Do I think he's a superhero? No, I think he's a quality quarterback though. I think they have talent. I'd like to see. I just believe in them. I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? I'm taking the over.
Okay.
I'm gonna go under, but I'm gonna go under like probably right at 6. I feel like there is something brewing on this team, something real good that I think incrementally they're going to keep building up throughout the years. And I think they're going to be a perennial playoff, team. They're going to be one of those ones that hangs around for 5, 6, 7 years. Dan Campbell, I love him. Just so full of energy. I think they're building this the right way. They're building along the lines. They have good talent. I love taking, Bama wide receiver, the one who's hurt.
Williams.
Yeah, right. Super good player. But that was the right call. Like that is out of this year's draft, he is one of the few guys who you can consider, if he's healthy, to be top end elite. And everybody else at that point was not top end elite. So take your chance. You know, you have to play them right way. I think even the Lions don't think they're going to be super competitive or challenge for the division this year. But like, that's what you good teams do. Plan for the future. Always have a plan in motion. I like Amon St. Brown. Oh, what's his name? Yeah, Amon St. Brown. I like him. There's something there. There's something with the Lions, and I feel like, thank God for those fans, because they've been suffering for a long time. So Lions fans, I think you got the future's looking bright.
Yeah. I feel like I have a Hard Knocks bias towards these guys right now.
Too. If you follow my fantasy football teams over the year, I am real Hard Knocks heavy.
Yeah. They're on Hard Knocks. You know, they're like St. Brown is very lovable. We got this linebacker they keep featuring who's the 6th round pick, who, you know, everybody's like, oh, he's great. You know, he may never be anything but special teams, but, you know, fired up to see that guy. Jamal Williams, you know, a guy I never really liked in Hard Knocks. He's very likable and fun. And you're like, oh, that's why he's on the team, because he's the leader of the team. But I still don't like Jared Goff. And I'm still not totally sure if Dan Campbell's a genius or an idiot. Not sure. These guys play hard for him. I'll give him that. But I don't know. I also am very impacted by the coaching staff. Like, it's all these players from when we were growing up. It's like,
that is funny. I was
Mark
just thinking
Brunell,
the same thing. Yeah.
Deuce Staley.
Yeah.
Like, Greg, you had a good moment. You had a good
Aaron Glenn.
You mentioned Madden earlier, and all I could when Dan Campbell got hired, I'm like, the guy who was always a free agent in Madden. Like, that's how I remembered who Dan Campbell was. He was always like top like 2 or 3 when you search free agents. That was Dan Campbell.
That's
82
funny.
overall in Madden on a free agent list.
Yeah.
I'm going under, but I do agree. I like something. There's something there. I don't know if they're gonna lose again and pick Bryce. You know, was it Bryce Hall or whatever top quarterback is out there?
Yeah.
And then it's really on after that. But there's things about the team that I like.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's happening this year, but okay. Moving on to the NFC South. Boy, oh boy. Tampa Bay Buccaneers over under 11.5 games.
Ooh, that's tough.
That's a high number.
That's the highest we've encountered, right? They're saying they're the best team of football. Or just because their division is so terrible.
Them and the Bills have the same, I think. Brady retired. We have to go over this.
What a great day that was.
Brady retired, and it was an amazing day. And then 2 days later, the rumors began that, he retired from the Buccaneers. That's what he meant.
Yeah, right.
He actually wants to go to the Dolphins. He retired from the Buccaneers. Well, that's not what you say then if you're leaving the Buccaneers.
Also, Tom, not how contracts work. Like, you signed a 2-year deal, Chief.
Holy smokes. So Brady decided to come back, but conditions had to be put in. I need to talk about all this.
Yeah.
Bruce Arians, all considered to be a good guy, a good coach.
Recovering from cancer. Like 2 bouts of cancer, I think.
Tom Brady kicked this guy to the curb. That he's got to go. Why? I don't know.
Your cancer's distracting me.
Your replacement is Todd Bowles, Jets flame out head coach. Todd Bowles is now the coach. Bruce Arians is in the front office.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was that weird press conference where we're going to talk about the weird stuff on this show, but there's the weird press conference where Bruce Arians is talking about stepping down and people are asking questions like, so Brady got you fired, right? And he's like, nah, no way. And then Brady walks in and sits in the front row as like a mafia hit kind of move.
Doesn't say a word.
Just comes in and sits with a big smile on his face. And Arians has to answer all these questions where he can't insult Tom Brady because he's sitting in the front row.
I would just do it.
Yeah.
Right? What's the consequence? You already got fired, and he's like 1 billion years old.
Understand.
Especially Bruce Arians, who usually does speak his mind more so than any coach. Right. You'd figure he would just go for it. But Brady.
Long story short, he's back. Or is he? Because guess what? He took a leave of absence this summer.
Yeah.
As soon as this Dolphins news comes out, he's got to go. I'm out of here. I'm leaving training camp for 14 days.
Rumor is he's on The Masked Singer.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. Sure. You know what?
Boy, if there was ever a time to bomb a TV show,
oh man,
it would be Tom Brady on The Masked Singer.
Oh,
Probably
man.
my two most hated things in like two different columns.
I thought, what is it? Rudy Giuliani was on last year.
Yeah, he got booed into oblivion.
Did he?
When fucking Alan Thicke's kid walks out on you, you should do some self-evaluation.
Wow. Yikes. Anyway, back to football. This guy's supposed to come back.
Okay.
Brady. The center is out for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Gronk isn't back. Ronald Jones is gone.
Yep.
Godwin's out for how long? We don't know.
Other injuries on the O-line too, not just the center. Like they've lost a couple.
One of the dudes retired. One of the really good players.
Marpet. Yeah, right. And then one of the guards like left in free agency. So they have serious problems along that O-line. Even in preseason, they've lost a couple of guys in preseason for the year. They're not starters, but I mean, they're still guys who are supposed to be on this team. That's not good. I gotta talk about Brady for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fucking Poochie, man. Like we always got to be talking about Brady. He always needs the fucking attention on him. He can't just take a moment and not be the focal point of the NFL. Like when he retired, I thought that was the greatest day ever because I didn't have to think about him anymore for the first time in 20 years.
Finally, he's gone.
And it's got to be on him again. And everyone's got to be asking him, what's Poochie doing? And it just like, then he leaves in minicamp. What's Poochie doing? He drives me insane. I fucking hate, but it's also a great part of my fandom to hate that man as much as I do. Like I do. There was this moment where when he retired, I thought, where does that hate go? Like I can't keep correcting it at just the Patriots. Like where does my hate go? So I'm glad, I guess he's back for one more time, but like, he's just infuriating.
I just, I don't mind talent. Like, I'll admit obviously that he's talented.
Absolutely.
But I can root for, I love LeBron James. Like, I can root for him just as much as anybody else. Like, it's not what he is, it's who he is.
Yep.
He is everything I hate in this world. Again, like a MAGA dude. He's like alpha male dickhead who just thinks that he has all the fucking answers and he needs to tell you about it. And like, yeah, you're a good football player, man. But like, there's a way to do this where not the entire planet hates you and wishes that your plane would crash on the way to The Masked Singer, into The Masked Singer.
Directly into The Masked Singer.
I really hate that show. Have you seen it?
Not since it first showed up.
So here's my tangent time, baby.
Okay, go
Here
for
it comes. Here's why I hate The Masked Singer. Because it is a show with zero consequences.
Okay.
Because the entire show is F-tier celebrities literally guessing names. That's the television show.
But no reason, right? There's just a fucking person in a mask. There's no reason to guess.
I'm kind of on board with like celebrity talent show. Like that's kind of fun. Like, oh, it turns out Soleil Moon Frye has some good pipes on her. Like I'm interested in that.
Oh, that's almost a crossover right there, Greg.
But the thing is, the entire show is Ken Jeong being like, oh, well, that has to be Tom Cruise. I mean, I saw Tom Cruise on the sidewalk once, and I could just tell from the way this person's singing that it's Tom Cruise. Oh my God. It was Logan Paul. Who saw that coming?
They're so similar.
It's like
let down of the cinch.
It's literally just people guessing names.
Yeah.
That's the entire television show. And it's like the people go crazy for this fucking thing.
Oh my God, it's super popular, right? It
people I respect in my life like this show, and it makes me, I'm not even kidding, respect them less.
Wow. Yeah.
Like some of my favorite people on this entire planet watch that show, and every time they tell me, it's like, maybe we don't need to be friends anymore.
Hold up. Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me think about this.
And I watched a lot of dumb television shows.
No, I'm
like, Is This Cake? That's a television show.
I have watched. Is like one of my all-time favorite television shows.
Yeah,
but at least Jersey Shore was about something. There was a plot.
There's something to
it. If the situation got up and someone was like, I'm holding something behind my back, can you guess what it is? The situation, and he's like, is it a pencil? That's the Masked Singer.
Yeah. No.
No, it was an
Is it a
egg,
hot
you
dog?
idiot.
Yes.
No, it's Logan Paul.
It's
so
Logan
close.
Paul.
I shouldn't have guessed Tom Cruise.
It's Bruce Arians. We got him right
Hey, he's
here.
back.
Right. His
He's
legs
back.
are broken for some reason.
Hold on. All right, let's do this Tampa Bay over under 11 and a
Oh
half.
yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
We
11 and a half.
Under.
crapped on their situation quite a bit.
I'm going to say under. Yeah, I'm going to say under. I just thought.
Taking it right now.
I really want to do that. However, I'm not betting against Brady right now.
The Brady Devil magic is strong.
Yeah,
but he could go into the playoffs at 11 and still get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
especially in the NFC.
Give me an over because I just don't want to be the guy.
No, I'm taking it. I'm taking the under here, and not only that, I'm going to put extra money on it.
Wow, you are just
this.
I'm doing it on that,
Mr. Moneybags.
Okay, we're going to the New Orleans Saints over 8.5. No Drew Brees.
8.5.
Jameis Winston. Michael Thomas is back.
Yep.
Crab Stealer.
Alvin Kamara punched people in Vegas but didn't get suspended. So are they better than 8.5? I would say yes. Give me the over.
Yeah, I would say I think 9-10 wins. I think for the Saints, their defense is still excellent. Getting Michael Thomas back, if this is like even if 70%, 60% Michael Thomas before the injury, you're in great shape because he was
good,
so damn good. So I think there's a lot of potential there. Jameis has got to stay healthy and he's got to stop stealing crabs. And if he can do those two things, then he'll be in okay shape. And I can't wait to talk. Jameis is definitely going to be, when the regular season kicks off and we start focusing in on some funny stories, the Jameis Winston stealing crabs. That's up there.
My God.
That's I'm going into full detail on that one. I think the first episode is going to be Najee Davenport, but I think we're going to get some Jameis pretty early on.
Okay.
I don't know. Jameis Winston, I don't like that guy. I can't throw support to him. I think this is an under.
Okay.
I just what's his best year ever? I mean,
statistically or like because he puts up good numbers.
I'll tell you
he had an insane year in Tampa Bay. That
my favorite.
Oh,
Jameis
but he also had 30 interceptions.
30 and 30. Yeah, and he did that in the last game. That was the best part.
My favorite thing to root for was his 30 interceptions.
Oh my God.
On red zone, because my fantasy team had gotten blown out. The Panthers sucked, which they're going to suck again, I'm sure. So I constantly rooted for the 30 picks. And when it happened, and they called it like it was a big deal. That was the other thing that cracked me up. It was like, he's done it. 30 and I think the 30th pick was a pick 6.
It was the last. It was one of the last. It was like it ended the game for the Saints.
It was a loss
for the Bucks. Yeah,
it was a Bucks team.
Yeah.
It was a loss. It was a pick 6 for 30, and it was the game over.
Right.
It was awesome.
No, Jameis Winston. Who's their backup? He's not even going to play.
It's the guy who they keep trying to make a quarterback, but is definitely a tight end.
Yeah. I don't think that's not going to be a thing. That's not.
I'm on the under here.
Also,
Andy Dalton.
Oh, the rifle
backup.
Your favorite. We didn't even talk about the coach. Freaking Dennis Allen is the
Dennis
coach,
Allen.
right?
Yeah. Somebody had to take a look. I know I said over, and now you guys are making me rethink it. But I'm still I said it initially. I'm going to go with it. But somebody looked at his Raiders resume and said, "You know what? Sign me up." Wow, I want some more of that.
That's always so funny to me.
Yeah,
like how eager they are to hire terrible coaches again.
Yeah,
like if I was interviewing Josh McDaniels, I would have one question: Did you draft Tim Tebow?
Yeah.
And when he said yes, I would say, "Cool, we'll be in touch."
Right. There's catering if you want it out the door.
But
I mean,
you.
Yeah.
All right. So we're split on that one. Interesting.
Yeah. I'm going to still stick with over. Yeah.
I'm on the under.
You're on under. I'm on over.
I feel like I'm way more pessimistic than you guys are. I wonder if that's.
I don't know. You were pro Bears. We're gonna find out.
Right.
No,
you're pretty.
True.
Yep.
You went at us against the. I like that though. Go for it, man. Come after us. All right. Speaking of pessimism, let me talk about
shit about you that I wanted you to hear.
Oh, damn.
Let me talk about my team. Let me get real pessimistic here. Carolina Panthers. Oh God, what a disaster that was last year when Sam Darnold was good. for a few weeks, and then
those first 4 weeks were insane.
Yeah, but the teams that he played, if you go back, they're the 4 worst teams in the league. The Lions, the Jaguars, and 2 other shit teams, Jets, and somebody else. So really wasn't very good. And if they paid him anyway, oh God, I hate the front office coaching staff here. They did not need to pick up a $18 million option, but they did after like one game. Like, could have waited all year to do that and really figure it out, but no, pay him.
I think that's the most frustrating thing is like there is no rush. You could have done this. You have to do the deadline is August, and you did it like in the middle of the season.
Yeah, he had like a hot run, and then they paid him anyway. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Oh yeah. So he was bad. The coach is bad, which hurts me because I thought this was going to be a great hire. Matt Rule is not good, I don't think, as a coach. He hired freaking the shitty Giants coach, the offensive coordinator.
That's got to be specific on that one.
Offensive powerhouse, the Giants.
Ben McAdoo.
Oh, McAdoo.
In his pants, his fluffy pants. He hired him to be the offense. You don't remember his wind pants?
I don't.
Those giant wind pants?
Hold on, I'm Googling
Google
it.
Ben McAdoo pants.
Ben McAdoo wind pants?
Yeah, hey, while he's looking that up, I have an addendum to a statement that I made last week.
Sure.
We were singing the praises of Andy Reid, and I think those praises are correct, but we were calling him a good coach, and I do think he has a lot of talent as a coach. But I think we glossed over the fact that he was a terrible game manager for like a decade.
Yes. Yeah,
he's still not the best.
Yeah, I'm about to say there he still sprinkles that in every now and then. Yeah,
so we were talking about him like he was the greatest coach of all time, and I think it would be remiss for us to not mention that in fact in the moment
you're right.
Yeah,
he is actually not that tremendous of a decision maker.
Yeah, he can be bad. He's a genius schemer, not necessarily a like a time manager or whatever.
He is fortunate his team blows out a lot of the other teams. I was going to say, game management doesn't.
Pat Mahomes solved a lot of those problems.
Right.
Yeah,
he solved a lot of those ills. All right, Panthers over 5.5. Baker Mayfield came in. They got him. This is a move I like.
I do like Baker quite a bit.
Here's why I like it, because they don't have to pay him anything. And hopefully they've learned from last time. They're paying him like $5 million. The Browns are picking up the rest of the salary. He's a free agent at the end of the year. So if he sucks, just whatever. Good riddance, my guy. Get out of here.
Yeah, right.
I like him. I think he's competitive. I think he's way better than people think. Like, he's been dumped on big time. He's way better than Darnold, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
He's got an edge to him, which I like, and this team has no life because their coach is awful. So I expect first coach fired is going to be Matt Rule. I put a prop bet on that. I will put a bet on that. Matt Rule, because I don't think the Bears are going to fire their new coach, unless something crazy happens. Matt Rule is going to go like 0-8 and he's going to get fired.
Yeah. Unless you have like Jerry Jones as your owner, it's rare to go 1 year and get fired.
So. Right. So I think there's a high possibility this blows up in flames, but I do like the swing of going for Baker. I've never understood why they didn't try to get Justin Herbert and those guys like when they were trying to rebuild and stuff. Like, why didn't you just go draft a guy and build? Like, you got rid of everybody. Why didn't you do what all teams do and try to rebuild the team? But we'll see. 5.5 is tough. I don't know if they're that terrible with Baker Mayfield. So give me a 6.
Yeah.
Over slightly. After Matt Rule gets fired, they win a couple. I guess.
I'm with you there.
I am too.
It's hard. I don't think they're winning.
They have a good offense.
Yeah, they do.
Have been a lot of games.
They have Christian McCaffrey. They have DJ Moore. Right. They have young players on defense that I like a lot.
Robbie Anderson's there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's there. He drops game clinching passes and then complains about things. So not a fan of his.
So let me tell you this though. So I like Baker Mayfield quite a bit. And if I'm going to give you, this is Mark's stellar betting tip for week 1. If you're going to put your money on anybody,
right.
put it on the Panthers in week 1. Panthers versus Browns. Baker Mayfield versus the team that shit canned him. He is a lot of things. He is very passionate, as Brian just mentioned.
Yeah.
He is going to get up for this motherfucking game. So he is going to really take it to, I think, the Browns, a Deshaun-less Browns, who are going to be demoralized and kind of like booed out of the building. So I have a lot of faith that Baker's going to win that first game. I love Baker Mayfield. I think the Panthers are going to resign him. I think he's going to be your quarterback because I think he deserves to be. And touching on Sam, I think 6 wins, I think, is probably what I would give this team. So I'm going to say over. Sam Darnold, by the way, he has the look of a guy like a Nick Foles, okay, like a Case Keenum, like a guy who's going to be in the league for probably 10 plus years, but he'll just be the primary backup somewhere, right?
Right.
But that's not. I think he has to make peace with that. It is. He has to make peace with it because he was the number 2, 3. I can't remember what overall pick he was.
I think it was 3.
Oh, that's right, because the Giants took Saquon Barkley for some reason. Okay, so it's 3. So like he has to make peace with, obviously the career didn't pan out the way he wanted it to pan out, but that's still a very important position to have. And if you're a top tier backup, like I think he can be, and step in for a game or two, because he showed, that he can do that for a small stretch.
Yeah.
Great. Great. I think he's going to kick around for a while. I think it's obvious though at this point, this man is not a elite starting quarterback. No. I don't think he can build to that anymore.
No, he might be able to come in and be like Jason Garrett as a quarterback, I guess.
Yeah.
Like come in and win one game when Troy Aikman's sitting out for concussion. Like I could see that being his career.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I'm really bummed about is Matt Corral, the quarterback they traded up to draft for, is injured he's out for the rest of the year. So I won't even get to see him.
Shitty luck. I mean,
sucks that we won't get to see him. So okay. Did we all go over?
I'm over.
Wow. Okay. That's surprising.
The DraftKings line is actually 6.5, and I still took the over.
Ooh.
Yeah, I believe in them.
Okay. Atlanta Falcons over under 4.5.
That's low.
Under.
Yeah.
They could really epically stink.
Yeah, they really are bad.
They never
Mariota. Talk about dearth of
Mariota.
talent.
Yeah.
No running back.
This is the one. Really, truly, this is it.
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Good tight end. I mean, they do have that. They do have
that.
At this
but
point,
that's it for Marcus Mariota.
At this point, why don't they just play Desmond Ritter, the quarterback they drafted, and Drake London and Kyle Pitts, and just go out there and chuck it around, see what you got? What are you doing? Why?
That'd be a good place for one of those 2 quarterbacks next year, like in a dome. I love it. Yeah. I harp on that a lot, but like when you're in a dome and you're a guy who can sling it, that is just so much. That really boosts your career. It really does. I don't think Matty Ice would have been nearly the quarterback he was if he had to play in like Green Bay. But the fact that he was in the safe confines of 72 degrees, climate controlled, no wind, I think that really helped his career substantially. And I think whoever the next Atlanta quarterback is going to help him out.
We talked about him a little bit last time, but I think that's part of the reason why he's in Indianapolis. It's like,
in a dome.
I can only thrive in this dome environment, so let me go to another dome. Yeah, it's hard to go under on 4.5. That's really hard.
Yeah, but there's always a 2 and 15 team somewhere.
Give me the under.
You might as well take this one.
Give me the under. I like Desmond Ritter. I actually am a little annoyed that he's not on my team. Like, I think he could be good. I wouldn't be surprised if we find out Desmond Ritter's good.
They got Drake London, and once again, these are just unproven talents. They're unproven. They're young.
We don't know what they're going to be.
We don't know. So
we know Kyle Pitts is pretty good.
Yep, he is very good.
But it's bizarre. His position is a little bizarre because he's a receiver playing tight end. Like he can't block and do the stuff that Gronk used to do. Like he's just a receiver.
Yeah, but he falls under the category of one of you motherfuckers has to catch this ball.
Yeah,
right.
Their running back is also a wide receiver.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
they're just running a 7 wide receiver set all the time.
Very bizarre.
Give me you're gonna get killed on this one, Mariota.
Yeah,
the under. Marcus, anytime Mariota is a starter, that's
Marcus Mariota has never played a full season.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
No, I'm looking at his stats. I'm telling you.
No, this is a fact.
You would remember some of those seasons, Greg.
So, yeah, not a guess. Oh,
yeah.
Good grief.
It's so hard to get a franchise quarterback. Like, I'm just thinking about the Titans, and I mean, the last one was Steve McNair, really.
Right.
And there was so much potential, with Vince Young and Marcus Mariota and the resurgence of Kerry Collins.
Kerry.
Hey, we were 13-3 that year.
He was my quarterback.
That's right. Kerry Collins in Carolina with Mushin Muhammad, as
I love
Pat
him both.
Summerall once famously called him.
Mushin, yeah.
Mushin Muhammad.
Kerry Collins, who quit the Panthers and went on a drunken bender.
Yeah.
My joke about Kerry Collins was he was always better when he was drunk.
Yeah.
Maybe he was drunk when he was on the Titans that one year. He might have been drinking. He's back on the sauce.
Sure. It wouldn't be a podcast without this guy.
Oh, right. There we go. Loki back in the house.
Yeah.
All right. Falcons under 4.5.
Marcus Mariota is dog shit.
That's the Mariota line. Not
the
Carl
is the Mariota line the last quarterback? The guardian of the backups?
The last quarterback on earth?
I mean, he has to be legitimately. Like,
yeah,
the fact that he is number one on this depth chart is remarkable.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a bad year.
That's a fuck up. Like, whoever your GM is, fire.
Bad.
They fucked up. They forgot to figure out all the positions on your team.
Oh shit, the quarterback. Oops.
Yeah. What?
Oh, I hit tab through that line.
Speaking of oops, I opened the wrong Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Why is Mariota so high?
Why is this list magic card prices? I don't know. I'll just go with it. That's fine.
I just imagine that meeting where like it was absolutely a mistake, but he has to no sell it.
Yeah, right.
He's like, no, I really think this kid's got talent.
Right.
See what he did?
I watched Moneyball. This is called analytics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems like
QBR rating of 40 career. So
none of these stats prove any analytics. Yeah, well, you're looking at the wrong ones.
Yeah.
All right, NFC. Speaking of people that are bizarre, a bizarre division.
Yeah.
Always really bad. Like over the last 5 or 6 years, awful.
They had that one year where they were real atrocious.
Yeah,
they have improved, but still,
they've improved slightly. Dallas is good. Their over under is at 10.5.
Oh,
they were.
I hate Dallas.
They were good-ish last year. Good-ish.
I don't know what to think of Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I don't either.
His stat lines.
I think about is his little twist move that he does. That's all I think about. His little warm up.
But there's some, similar to the Jets. Like, I feel like the Cowboys are the Jets of good teams. Like, I know that's a crazy analogy, but where the Jets just can't get more than 5 wins, it doesn't matter what they do. The Cowboys, there is something wrong with that organization where they do not have what it takes to actually win football games. Tony Romo and Dak Prescott might as well be the same fucking quarterback as far as I'm concerned. Because talented, unbelievably talented. I just have no faith in either of them.
Yeah. Yep. I used to say this about the Colts of the 2000s, that they were individually good at every position on the team, but they were just collectively bad at the game of football. And I feel like that's Dallas. Like, they can't put it together on the field.
Yeah.
There is potential for this Dallas team to really implode this year. Like, Ezekiel Elliott 100% is not coming back next year. Like, they've made it clear they don't really want him anymore. So there's like that's already out there. I think like Dak puts up garbage yardage and garbage touchdowns. He'll throw like 4 touchdowns a game, but 3 of those 4 will come when they're already down by like 40 points. So it doesn't matter at that point. Their coach is a joke. He's just like the team is so like in the preseason, they've already the most penalized team. That was a problem last year. They kept getting penalties and the worst possible times.
Yeah, that one playoff game. It was like almost record breaking or something.
Which is that goes on the coach. Yeah, and like they can't put it together and put away teams. And when you have a group like that, this team could really implode and go 5 and whatever, and then Jerry loses his mind and tries to bring Sean Payton in or something crazy, right?
That's going to happen. Mark it down.
If you read this, it just makes sense that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to say under. I'm going to say under on this. Do you remember though? Who was it who called Dak Prescott the Black Kirk Cousins? Because that's a fantastic insult. It was like I think it was Amari Cooper called him that. I thought that was such a
ouch,
such a cutting comment. So,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What I will say, and this is something that it's hard to express on a podcast, which is why we haven't done it very much. Like we've been focusing very heavily on offenses. Dallas' defense is not only good, but they have like 4 rising stars.
Yeah.
Right. This is the type of defense that's going to be that they could win games just on the back of their defense. They have a lot of talent. So I don't want to, whatever about Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott is kind of a weirdo spaz who doesn't seem to want to play football anymore.
Yeah.
But their defense is fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And look at their schedule. I mean,
look
you got 4 wins.
At this division.
I mean, you got at least 4 wins right off the bat against the Giants and the Commanders. There we go.
The Commanders. I liked football team. I'm bummed.
I like football team. Just be a football team.
Right? I mean, I don't know. The Washington football team, like, that's fun to me. I'm into it. The Commanders is stupid.
It is stupid. It's real dumb.
It could have been anything.
There's so many other names that would have worked way better.
Whenever I see Commanders, I just assume it's one of the, like when the XFL and the USFL came back, I just assume we're talking about one of those teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like the Washington Generals.
Yeah. The Generals.
Right. They could have done that. Could have went with the Generals. Give me the it would have been appropriate. Give me the over.
Okay.
What is it again? 10.5.
Great. The division's not great.
I'm gonna go with you.
They really don't have to be great to win 10.5 games, right? They could be mediocre still.
Agreed.
But we all agree, though, this is not a deep playoff team.
No, I don't think so. I like CD Lamb. I just don't know about the other guys that are out there for Dak. And I like Tony Pollard a lot. Yeah, I think he's really good.
Well, he shows more heart than Ezekiel does.
He's so much better than Elliott is at everything except for goal line. So
for all the NFL GMs who are listening, and we have all 32 listening to us,
always,
don't pay a running back.
No,
ever. Don't do it.
Right.
Don't do it.
We're getting to the point where we're old enough where like this game is completely different.
Oh God, yeah.
I was thinking the other day about
Yeah.
Sean Alexander and his 23 touchdowns.
Yeah, right.
Marshall
Tomlinson, Marshall Faulk.
Priest Holmes.
Yeah,
right.
And
that running back era of the 2000s.
It's just wild to me. I feel like it. First off, I'm always surprised by how subtle the shift was. The game is completely different now, but it still takes me by surprise. But it happened very subtly. And on top of that, you think about like when passing took over, like when Dan Marino came along, or what was it? Who's the Jets quarterback, the famous, the only good Jets. Namath. Right, first quarterback to ever throw 4,000 yards, and how fucking mind blowing that must have been.
Yeah,
the fact that a running back isn't viable past 28 now.
Yeah.
And I mean, they can score 10 touchdowns. We're like, oh, this is a number 1 pick fantasy wise. It's insane to me.
It's also like you can get them at any point in the draft at this point. You could, it's not unheard of to get star running backs in the 4th and 5th round.
Right.
So it just doesn't make sense to draft one early anymore.
Right. Yeah. And if I'm a big time watcher of old sporting events, old games on YouTube, there was this feed was dedicated to that for a little while. If you watch the 1998 playoffs, you'll see John Elway in a playoff game with that incredible team win a game 7-6 against the Patriots. A game 7-6 in the playoffs. That is never going to happen again.
No.
The rules have changed so much. And we're talking about John Elway here, not some schmuck.
Yeah. I remember looking through Dan Marino's playoff stats, and there was a couple of games that he like either won or lost, but it was like 10-7. And like I said, Dan Marino, who in 1984, blew everyone's mind with his season, his passing. Right. Now it's like, that's his commonplace. It's like, oh yeah. And Patrick Mahomes does that multiple years in a row.
Right. That's just a normal season. Somebody does that every year.
Yeah.
Now, somebody does a Dan Marino every year. So yeah, it's wild. It's like watching the 90s Knicks. Comparing that to now, like comparing that to Golden State Warriors. You watch the 90s Knicks, like
that is the perfect analogy.
Right. This is brutal. There's
the
no
whole offense moving through one dude who's just gonna bang it in and do a layup over and over and over again.
It's unwatchable almost compared to what Steph Curry is doing.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But okay, where do we leave off? We're on the Philadelphia Eagles, 9.5 over under. Everybody loves Jalen Hurts. Everybody loves
the man
AJ Brown.
I am a huge Eagles fan for this year. I mean, I really like. They made it to the playoffs last year. I think people forget that they got crushed, but they made it.
Weren't they like 7-0 to start the year or something like that, and then they lost a bunch?
I think you're right, but like I think Hurts. They've done a good job with surrounding him with talent across the board. The O line is substantially better. D-line, I mean, the defense is getting work. Their secondary looks better. They also have the easiest schedule in the NFL. And I know I know you can't judge that because obviously there's going to be
perfect. Yeah.
Right. There's always teams that come out of nowhere, but then there's always teams that everyone says are going to be good who are shit. So but it does balance out typically. So I think with that schedule, I think over. I think in my opinion, they take the division.
Whoa.
Yeah, I like the
over division. That's what I'm saying. AJ Brown is a great player. You've seen him, Greg, for years. I think he's going to make the difference. I think there's a lot of pieces there that have not totally, come together, and they will.
How many teams make the playoffs now?
7,
9, 12.
It's like hockey.
The NBA.
Half. Yeah.
You got to play in tournament.
It's 7.
7.
Boy, I don't know, guys. You think they win the division?
I do.
Did they improve their defense at all?
Yeah, they also brought in they had an excellent draft. They were one of the more, like I said, consensus like draft winners.
Fletcher Cox is back, right?
Yep.
There's some potential here. And this division's weird.
I'm gonna go under.
All right.
Also, they have 2 professional wide receivers for once in 10 years.
True.
They literally had wide receivers who were bagging groceries.
Yeah, right.
A couple,
but kind of like the Cowboys, like they have 4 easy wins right off the bat, and I think they split with Dallas. So there's 5 right there.
Oh, all right. Boy, 9.5.
I mean, go with your gut, Greg. Go with your gut, man.
25 on the under. So
they play the Texans.
Oh shit!
Take
it back. Abort. They get 2 wins.
They play the Jaguars. That's 7.
You want to do the Mike and the Mad Dog thing? Where they? Oh well, let me see you, Mike. They're playing the Jaguars. Give me a win there. Give me a win on the Jaguars. Oh, yeah.
Love this.
Dog.
Dauber? Gotta work Dauber in every chance I get.
I don't know, Coach. I wonder if he ever actually says that.
He definitely says it.
Coach Cast coming in 2024.
That's right.
Coach Cast. We got to wait a whole year to get that.
That's related to this podcast.
Maybe during the off season. Yeah. That's perfect. We watch a season of
Coach Cast
during the off
season. Oh, I love it.
You think NFL fans and Coach fans coexist?
Hey, he went and coached in the NFL in season 7.
The Orlando Breakers. Thank you very much.
Oh.
Yes.
All right. Washington Commanders.
Oh God!
They brought in Carson Wentz. A tire fire. A tire fire.
Somebody went out and signed Carson Wentz.
Taylor Heineke did good last year.
Yeah,
he was all right, but I don't think that was in their cards for a full-time guy.
2 years ago, they made the playoffs, right? And Heineke was playing for he was in the playoffs, right, as their quarterback. So. I was so impressed with that guy in that game. He was not the reason they lost. He played his ass off.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
I like Ron Rivera. He was the Panthers coach for a while. I'm in for Ron Rivera. I think he's a good guy and a good coach. And I like Riverboat Ron. I always liked the gambler, Riverboat. But Carson Wentz. I don't know.
I don't believe in him at all.
No,
if Taylor Heineke. I would take the over if Carson Wentz wasn't the quarterback.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, what is? I'm sorry. What is the over under on this?
It's 8.5.
Oh, under.
8.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under.
Yeah.
I think it's a sweep it under.
Yeah. The only thing I like about Washington is their D-line is on paper fucking tremendous.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Right.
It might be once again, games aren't played on paper, but on paper, it might be the best defensive line in the entire NFL.
Chase Young alone. Yeah.
Simmons, not Simmons.
Montez Sweat,
and then the other defensive tackle. I feel bad because he's a
Payne and Allen.
That's right. On Jonathan Allen. Right. I mean, that is amazing, that defensive line that they put together. But they fired their D-line coach like in training camp because they're like, oh, these guys should be dominating and they're not. So goodbye, Sam Mills, number 2.
Sam Mills the third. Yeah.
Although little tactless to fire him like the day after his dad went in the Hall of Fame. I thought that was
that's not great. Come on, Ron. Come on. Right. And they got Jack Del Rio being a fucking idiot that they didn't fire too. So.
Oh yeah, what did he do?
He said
it was
January 6th was a dust up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A dust up. Not a big deal. People fucking died, motherfucker. Yeah. You're in the city. You work in the city that it happened in, guy. Come on.
Del Rio's always been an idiot.
What a fucking moron. All right. Anyway, Commanders under. Sweep it.
Yep.
Carson Wentz, I don't know if he's necessarily as bad as he made himself out to be.
Oh, he is.
Because that Colts team was pretty good until that last 6 weeks
until Carson Wentz had to do something.
Started doing underhand passes out of the end zone and flipping the ball to the other team and just melting down, getting beat by the Jaguars when they could. Yeah. All they needed to do was beat the Jaguars.
We're ripping on him, but it's hard to do this. I'm the same way. I'm the type of person who can have a 10 out of 10 tryout. This happened to me a lot when I was younger because I made a lot of all-star teams and stuff like that. And just over the course of a season, you sort of compound all the thoughts in your head and you think you're better than you are, or, it's almost too much information. You think you can do stuff that you can't. Mm-hmm. This happened to me a lot when I was a kid. I played basketball, I played baseball, I played college baseball and stuff. I was the same way. By the end of the season, you would look at me and be like, how the fuck did this kid make the team? but the first, half of the season, I was best player on the team. And it happened to me over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. When I'm focused, when I could start it up and the path was clear, it was easy as day. As soon as things got difficult, as soon as things compounded in my brain, became very difficult. The same thing seems to happen to Carson Wentz. Those first 8 games, fucking easy peasy. It's walking in the park. But now the pressure gets on and games get tighter. You're in prime time. You think you're a superstar and you're just not.
But that's not to me, Carson Wentz is a game manager, and he could game manage in Indianapolis when you had Jonathan Taylor running for outrageous amounts of yards. He's not going to have really much talent other than what's his name, Terry.
He's got Terry McLaurin, who's a good receiver.
Terry McLaurin.
Probably his best receiver he's ever played with.
Yeah, right. But there's no running game.
He's got Antonio Gibson, who some people like and some people don't.
Your point, Greg, I understand what you're saying, but at this, how many years has he been in the league now? 5-6 years? More than that?
Yeah, a while.
Right. So if he can't get it now, if he hasn't already gotten it, it's not going to happen. And this is just who this man is. So I think to a point you would have to grow out of that to be an elite quarterback. He's just not there, and I don't think he's ever going to be there. I think at this point he is more of a detriment than anything else. That's why we all laughed.
I agree.
At the beginning of this discussion, because it's such a joke. He just doesn't have it, and you might as well go with a backup at this point just to see what a young guy's got.
Right.
Also, he's not the best guy. Reports have come out his teammates hate him. His teammates don't like him.
Oh yeah, and he's an anti-vaxxer.
He's another one of those.
Yeah, fuck him.
I
have literally no sympathy whatsoever unless you have an actual medical condition that says you can't do that.
Right.
Fuck you.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird. All right. We're all anti-Commanders, the name included. New York Giants. This one made me laugh last year. This was hilarious. Watching this team was so fun, especially the game where they kneeled down on third down. Can you explain this situation? They were buried into their end zone. They were playing who the quarterback was. I forget. Some shit quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones was hurt, so it wasn't his fault.
Was it Jake Fromm? It might have been Jake Fromm.
It was Jake Fromm, and they decided to do like a quarterback kneel down on third down. Or punt.
Bold move.
The punt on third down. It was bizarre thinking, which basically got a coach that was guaranteed to continue coaching fired immediately, basically.
Yep.
Because of his explanations being like, the guys in the locker room love me. It's like, how? How, Joe Judge? How, man?
They also didn't respect him at all, you know. And so, by the way, we didn't really talk about this, but all three of us are in upstate New York. So we get Giants games predominantly.
We see the Giants all the time.
Right. So I had to watch a lot of Giants games, and they were abysmal. They were just directionless, rudderless. Daniel Jones, there's flashes. I will say that. You know, when he did that long ass run, that was pretty impressive.
The one where he fumbled on like the 1 yard line.
That was pretty sad. But I'm just saying, like, there's little things here and there. I don't think he's the answer long term. I think he's actually, I mentioned earlier, he's more like a Nick Foles backup in this league than anything else.
Yeah.
I do like, because once again, because I'm upstate New York and I'm a Bills fan, I got to watch a lot of Brian Daboll's offenses.
Right. So that's what I wrote down here. They couldn't suck anymore. But I don't think they're going to turn it around this fast.
Not this yet. No, not this fast at all. And the one thing I can say about Daboll, and he started doing this already, because I was reading up on the Giants before we started here, and if I had to, I don't have a lot of complaints about him, because when he ran the Bills offense, it was stellar. But the one thing that annoyed me was that he would stick to veterans over young players. And even when the young players were drastically outperforming, he stuck with, in the Bills, Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley when they were well past their prime. And they kept guys like Gabe Davis and Isaiah McKenzie down until injuries just kind of like forced his hand. He's doing that a little bit in New York, where he's like kind of riding the Saquon Barkley train a little bit more. And Barkley's kind of, you know, he hasn't shown much the last couple of years, you know, and still focused on Kenny Galladay. And I think he's kind of a bust. So that's my only worry about him, is that he's going to stick with these veterans when he should just be looking to the future.
We'll see. 7.5 over under.
Way under.
Yeah.
Under.
I put a 20 spot on that.
Under.
Yeah. I think
Dayball talked about Tyrod Taylor playing a little bit, which made me think, like, first of all, I feel really bad for Tyrod Taylor because of the whole
last year
stabbed in the fucking
God
chest.
Wait, what now?
The staph infection that the Cleveland trainer caused.
Was it Cleveland that did it to him?
I think it was Cleveland. Pretty sure it was Cleveland.
They stabbed him in the chest with something to relieve a punctured lung or something, and basically ruined his whole year.
Yeah, it like fucked up the lung works, and then it also causes a staph infection.
That sucks.
They fucked him up. It was like user error.
Yeah,
right. Tyrod. So I feel bad for him, but he was saying like Tyrod might play. Like,
listen, I love me some Ty God. Like, I mean, he was a Bill. He broke the streak, man. He was the quarterback during that when they got back to the playoffs. So, good dude. Like, real nice guy.
Right. I like him.
And I think still a decent core. I think they'll probably go farther with him than Daniel Jones.
Wow. Maybe they're starting to realize that. All right, so we're all under on the Giants.
Yeah.
Whew. I think the Giants will eventually be good. I think Dayball's he's got something.
Yeah, and they got the Bills' assistant GM to be their GM, who I really liked. Like, he was kind of in charge of a lot of like the later drafts, and the Bills always did well there. So,
speaking about Darnold earlier, I appreciated that they immediately declined Daniel Jones' option.
Right.
Like, smart. Nope, fuck this.
Yep.
We are not doing this, which is smart. All right, one last division to go. We're going to start with the Super Bowl champs, the Los Angeles Rams. I almost call them St. Louis. Los Angeles Rams, over under 10.5. Repeat. They certainly have the best general manager in the entire NFL, because he's the only guy who realizes the cap doesn't fucking matter. And he will do whatever he has to do to trade whoever to make this team better. And he will do it again I'm assuming there's one more trade to make here, but he's done it every year, and it's always worked out. Beckham, Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller, the list goes on and on.
It's been a while since we're supposed to be the experts here, and I'm asking real basic bitch questions. How is the NFL season? How is the NFL cap working now? Is it a luxury tax or is it a hard cap? Or
it's a hard cap, but a lot of teams are using upfront money, bonus money, because to circumvent.
So what seems to keep happening is people keep saying like Ezekiel Elliott, the contract, and they'll give the number, but the real number is only the guaranteed number.
Yeah,
right.
They can cut him and lose all that other money. It doesn't matter.
Right.
They only have to pay Ezekiel what he's guaranteed.
And that's why like this Jimmy Garoppolo thing is dragging out for so fucking long, because they'll just cut him.
Technically, they can cut him on September, whatever, and then save that money, which is what's probably going to happen. Yeah.
Right. Every team knows that. But it's not going to take their cat.
Nobody wants to trade for him because they know that he's going to be cut. Right. So
I actually really like salary cap management and like all that type of stuff.
Oh, it's fascinating. Fascinating.
Mm-hmm. But after the latest collective bargaining agreement, I never like updated what everything was. So
yeah,
I wasn't sure if anything had changed.
I just think the way this guy Les Snead has manipulated things, I'm going to pick up Von Miller because I know I'm going to pay him his one guaranteed year or whatever it is, and then he's out of here. Doesn't matter. Like Odell Beckham, same thing. Like I'll trade for him. This team's going to get a hell of a lot better. He's going to be gone. I'll get the next guy in the next trade. Like he has figured that out where many others haven't. So I think there is a trade to make for this team still. I still think they're very good. They're probably going to be over 10.5. The only question mark on my and everybody's mind, I guess, is Matthew Stafford's elbow.
Yeah,
that's so fucked up. They don't even know how to describe it in press conferences. They're just like, yeah, it's not really a football injury. I don't know what that even means.
Well, they call it's what pitchers get a lot of times.
Yeah, is he going to need Tommy John?
Tommy John, right? So it's like that constant annoyance, type of pull that you, like I said, you normally don't. You only get it. Typically, you see it with the baseball throwing motion. Football throwing motion is going to be a little bit different. So interesting. That. I think that is something to be concerned about. I will say over. I think this team is immensely talented.
Yeah.
Look at where they got they lost Von Miller and they brought in the guy from Seattle, Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a player to replace Von
Bobby
Miller.
Wagner.
Yeah, right. Just so casual about it.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey. I'm not a fan of him as a human. I think he's a real dick. Yeah. But he is a hell of a cornerback. My only concern with him a little bit going into the season is he had a late back surgery. They said he'll be fine, but you never know. Like sometimes those things linger.
Right.
I do think I think this division is also a lot weaker than people think it's going to be. So I think they're going to feast on all three of those teams.
Pretty weak.
Yeah, I think they might have this division by Thanksgiving.
I don't know if they're going to repeat. I don't know if they have that capability unless the big trade comes through that I think might, but I really don't.
Well, who the NFC's got? I think they're going to be.
They'll be in the mix, but I don't know if they can beat the Bucs. I mean, they barely beat the Bucs already.
They did barely beat them the first time, but they still beat them. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. So
I guess the only question mark is there really are no powerhouses in the NFC, and then Bucs and Rams. Yeah, right. The NFC, Bucs and Rams. That's better.
I suspect Zach Wilson, if he has any talent at all, it's not going to be New York. It'll be wherever he lands next.
Okay. I could see that.
New York's just not a winning franchise. And I know that's like one of those like gut things that idiots say, but it's a simple fact. New York cannot win football games. This team is young.
Yep.
The Jets. So like if they're going to find some sort of synergy and cohesion, like this is kind of it, right? Like they're all going to grow up together.
It's the way to do it.
Similar to the Bengals. I mean, like exactly like that.
Yep.
Who knows? They could come out of nowhere and this is definitely a wild card. The Jets could be good. They aren't, but they could.
I just hope that they stick with the current staff and don't panic.
Right.
Like Zach Wilson should get another year. He should 100, even if he completely bombs this year, which I don't think he will. But if he does, you need to give him that third year. Don't Jets it up. Don't immediately panic and decide you need another quarterback. Like you got to give him another year. You got to give Salah and his group another year. Like all of this needs to continue if you want any chance for sustained success.
All right. So where does that leave us?
Looks pretty good too.
What's that?
This running back they drafted?
Oh yeah, Breece Hall. Yeah, he's very good.
So where does that leave us on 5.5 over under?
I know I was making jokes. Maybe they get to 6.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they're going to be substantially over, but I think they will be over on that.
I'm going to go under. I'm not a believer. Maybe they make strides, but I don't know if they're there yet.
Okay. You should record these so we can reflect back at the end of the year.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll go back and we can go back over it when we get to the end. All right, AFC West is our last division that we have to go
Holy
over.
shit, we are going so slow. Rapid fire did not go well for us.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. I think we're gonna have to make a plan here. AFC West, Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
Over under 10.5.
This division has so much talent.
Oh my God, it's loaded. It's absolutely loaded.
Is it impossible for all 4 teams in the division make the playoffs?
No, they can make it.
I mean, like statistically, I didn't know if because they play each other enough, if there was like.
I think it would be difficult, but it's possible.
Right.
Kansas City's 10.5. They don't have Tyreek Hill anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They picked up Juju Smith-Schuster. They also added Sky Moore in the draft.
I like Sky Moore.
He pretty good, shifty guy. I don't think he's Tyreek Hill, but he's good.
Yep.
Where are we at on it? I mean, still have Pat Mahomes, so no matter what, they still have Pat
great.
Mahomes.
Yeah, right.
They're still going to win a lot of. Although they lost a ton of talent on their defense.
Yep.
They lost like their entire secondary, didn't they?
Yeah.
They lost Tyrone Matthew. He's gone. He's not there.
Yeah.
And I think once again, people, those voices in the locker room really help you. And you might think like, well, his talent dropped off over the last couple of years. And I think it did. But at the same time, like he was still a very effective starter, and to lose his passion and very much leadership skills, I think that's an underrated storyline going into the season that not a lot of people are talking about. I think they replace Tyreek. It might take 1 or 2 players, but like Andy Reid's very creative. They have good talent on there. I'm not a huge Smith-Schuster fan. I think he's kind of an idiot, but like I respect the on-field talent. I really like Sky Moore, as I just mentioned. They're running backs. They always use them very intelligently, very smart. Orlando Brown is back for their O-line, so that's in good shape. I say over, and I think. I'm not going to say another division because I think there's another team here that I think takes it, but close.
I agree. Over.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't think that. I mean, there's secondary stakes, but they could certainly. They may not make the Super Bowl, but they're going to be there in the mix. Their defense is rough.
Can I get this team to play in Buffalo? That's all I want. They played fucking Kansas City and Buffalo played the last 4 years. It's always in Kansas City. How statistically does that happen? I thought like they have to trade off or something. Like they're always playing in Kansas City. And this year they're playing in Kansas City in the regular season. Get your ass to Buffalo, man. I know that's what I want to see. I want to see dildos galore raining down on Mahomes. All different types of dildos.
Make it rain.
One of my
on
all-time
Mahomes.
favorite recent quotes in the NFL was when they asked Andy Reid to do what Patrick Mahomes sounded like, and he referred to him as Kermit-like.
Yes. Kermit.
That's a good one. I
like
like Andy Reid.
Yeah, I do too. They had him break through the wall. The one time they put up like a fake brick wall and had him break through it like the Kool-Aid Man, because people always refer to him because he's wearing the red shirt, and he did it so like lackadaisically. He just like walked through it and then went off to go do something else. It was real funny.
My favorite Andy Reid thing is him as a kid in the punt, pass, and kick competition, where the giant body as a child over
6 foot,
towering over everybody else, wearing the full uniform. That's the best.
Dude just enjoys what he's doing.
He's a good fucking coach.
Yeah, he's great.
He's good. Yep. I'm glad he finally won one, because what did he lose, like 5 NFC championship games in a row or something?
Well, with the Eagles, that's right.
Yeah.
Or he lost 4, and then like the 5th time he made it to the Super Bowl and still lost.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sometimes, but you know what though? All you need is one.
All you need is one. He's got it.
Yep.
All right, Denver Broncos. This team had a lot of fantasy stock in the Denver Broncos last year.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and they have a lot of pieces there, but their quarterbacks were a little weird. Even though you like Teddy Bridgewater, their quarterbacks were a little odd. Now they have Russell Wilson, and now they're over under 10.5 wins.
Ooh, that's a tough one though.
It's very hard. It is very hard.
I'm gonna say under. Only because it's tough to have a quarterback be brought into a new situation and be immediately dominant, especially in that division, which is so strong. I feel like they're just going to like crab bucket each other. Like all those teams are just going to like drag each other down.
Right.
And it's just going to, they're going to be so, when I was growing up in like the mid 90s, I always thought of the NFC East was very much like that, where they just spend the entire season just beating the shit out of each other. And then when the playoffs roll around, they're just beat up and they get like crushed by a team from the NFC West or something. So I kind of envision that with them. They're just going to be put through so much. I love Russell Wilson. I think he's a great quarterback. I think the offense is going to be much better. I think the biggest problem for them is everybody else got better too. I think that's their biggest flaw, which isn't a flaw for them. I mean, it's the way it is.
Yeah.
What do you think?
100% what you just said.
Yeah.
Like, I think this team got better. I think they have a tremendous amount of talent. I think they could leave this division 0-6 or 6-0.
Right.
It depends on how it could go either way.
Yep.
So I think it's what's going to wind up happening is I think they're going to split with most of these teams. This division is so talented.
Oh my God.
The Raiders are the worst team in the division, and even they're pretty legit.
Yeah.
I would say Russ is coming off an injury, right?
Yep.
He just lost Tim Patrick, who was potentially going to be his best receiver. Jerry Jeudy's kind of an idiot. They traded Noah Fant in the trade, so the guy doesn't have a tight end to throw to. He's got 2 good running backs and an okay defense, but this division is tough. And this guy's basically had the best situation in Seattle, not entirely because they wanted to run the ball a lot, but a lot of very good things for him in Seattle, and he's not going to have these things here in Denver. And I do believe, as stupid as Seattle is, as stupid as Pete Carroll is, that they have seen something in this guy's play where, like, we'll live with it. We'll live with this guy getting out of here. So I'm going under. Something is going to happen here. I do not see this being like a Peyton Manning Bronco thing. Even though he has the weapons to potentially do it, I just think there's too many question marks, at least for year one. And the guy's health he's not a big guy. He's got the potential to get his ass kicked in the pocket. So I'm going to say under on Denver. Might be a small under, but I'm saying under.
I would say under as well, but just because it's a tough division.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Put them in an NFC team, and they're like the second seed or in any NFC division, you know?
Right. Exactly. All right. The Chargers, their over under is 10 games. They had a very odd season last year where they seemed to be very, very good, like an upper echelon playoff team, and then they didn't make the playoffs.
Well, I think a lot of that was their coach. I think he made some, and that going back to the Dolphins, you know, the idea that's a first time NFL head coach. Not like he was. I mean, that's a tough job to try to balance out like time management and things. Those are the things that, like, even if you're offensively skilled, like obviously this Chargers head coach. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on his name. But
Staley, I think is his last name.
Very, very talented, very smart man. He just couldn't get like a lot of the flow of the game. He couldn't manage time very well. He those are the things that messed him up. And I feel like you're going to see that similar in Miami. I would hope that as another year goes by, he has learned to effectively be a head coach a little bit better. That last game where they were playing the Raiders, that was I love that game. That was fantastic. That was the one where all they had to do was just tie and they both would have made it. And like the Raiders pretty much gave them the sign that, just go ahead. We're just going to kneel and we'll both tie and we'll both go. And the Chargers like didn't believe them. It was like the weirdest thing. Like
so weird.
The Chargers like, you're trying to psych us out, aren't you? And they started like bombing it deep. And the Raiders like, well, if you're going to do that, we're just going to score. And they just did. And they knocked them out of the playoffs.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just beat you.
Right. I guess we'll just beat you now. Like he was just giving them an opportunity just to like get in. And you're like, no, I don't want that, man. So because of that, I would hope that he has learned from those type of situations, like how to be a coach. Because I adore this Chargers. I love the offense. I love the defense. They added Khalil Mack. I mean, like there is this team, and this team was already loaded on defense.
Sure,
you add a guy like Khalil Mack on your defense who's going to also help your locker room out. Your receivers are great. Your quarterback is fantastic. I would say, a second seed for them is not out of the realm. I could see a first seed for them not being out of the realm of possibility. I would say over.
Yeah.
What was the number again?
10. Right on the money, Vegas.
So good.
We didn't even talk about Asante Samuel Jr., who they drafted last year and is already like one of the best cornerbacks in the entire NFL. In the second year.
Under. For the same reason I went with Denver. I think it's going to somehow that division's going to look mediocre despite all the talent.
They're going to cannibalize themselves, man. I think that's a very real possibility.
100%. All right.
And every game is going to be a combined score of over 100 because that's just the AFC.
It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch. That's for sure. All right. Vegas, Las Vegas Raiders, over under 8. They added Devontae Adams, the best receiver in the entire NFL. Pairing him with his college quarterback.
Yep. Which is great.
Oh, that's fun.
You don't have to worry about the guys not knowing each other. It could be pretty seamless.
I feel like that's going to be a good connection. I don't know.
Yep.
I just don't know. This team has been through a lot. I mean, they had a racist head coach. He got fired in the middle of the season. He was supposed to be the savior. He had a 10-year, $100 million contract. They had a new city, a new stadium, all this stuff. And they still were battling for the playoffs, right? And they still made it.
Yeah.
So, and now they've got this guy. Now they got Devontae Adams. So that's a tough one. 8 wins, over under 8 wins. That's really right on the bar there. I feel like 8 is exact.
Yeah,
for me. But what do you think?
I'm gonna go over. But once again, kind of like 9 and like 9 10 wins over, kind of for what Greg was saying, where the division is so good. But I like the offense. I think Carr is underrated. I actually think he's a pretty damn good quarterback. He seems to be a very good leader. The guys love him there. The O-line's good, D's good. So they added. I mean, it just Chandler Jones is with them now. He's been a monster in Arizona.
Big pickup.
Huge pickup. So the reason I don't think they're going to progress too deep in the playoffs is I think Josh McDaniels is an idiot. We've seen him before as a head coach, and maybe like we were talking about earlier, maybe he learned. But the last time I saw him, he was one of the dumbest head coaches I'd ever seen. So that might hold them back, but I still think they make the play. I think they'll be over. I think they'll be over 8 wins.
I mean, this guy, the Colts thing alone, makes me think this guy is the biggest idiot ever.
Yeah.
Like I accept the Colts job, and then oops, never mind. I do not accept the Colts job. I'm going to do a Belichick to you to stay Belichick's buddy.
But that's my conspiracy theory. Like, why did he do that if he wasn't promised the head coaching job
at a point
very shortly? And I think he was, and Belichick went back on it.
I think he was, and Belichick changed his mind. But
right, because that's a Belichick thing to do.
Still, you give your word to a company saying you're going to go work there.
Yeah, I know.
And then you just don't and go back to your old worst job.
I just want to see Belichick talk to McDaniels like, "Fuck your life. This is mine."
Gotcha.
Fuck you. Fuck your family. Fuck everything about you. It's all about me.
All right. I have a slight over as well. I have a slight over.
I'm with you.
Slight over. All right. That completes the AFC.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. Yay. That was fun. That was very fun.
Maybe that was fun.
Yeah.
But maybe we got to come back for the
other
I think we do. I was 100%.
Which the listeners aren't going to be able to tell a difference.
No, they won't.
Right.
Because we were already going to split this into 2 weeks.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
So perfect. We still have one in the can. We got one. We got our first.
We got one down. We got one more to go.
Yeah. Right.
There was a lot to talk about there. Wow.
Yeah, right.
That was a lot. All right. We're going to finish this thing up. You can find us at Pod and Long on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Find us on there. You can interact with us. We should talk fantasy when we get our fantasy teams drafted, right? Are you guys playing fantasy?
Yeah, we're in the same league.
Yeah. All
Mark
right.
and I are in this very stupid and intense league.
Yeah.
Why is
I can't. So here's all right. here's the deal with this league. It's a relatively cool league.
Yeah.
It's a dynasty league.
Oh,
It's a salary cap league. It's like basically everything,
Yeah.
So it's super complex. But here's the thing. I came into it after it had already existed for about 15 years.
Wow.
And everybody in the league had backstabbed each other so much that there are now like 1,000 very specific, very stupid rules about how things work.
Wow.
It's like you can only pick up players on these days, and you can only do it in this way, and you have to email this person by this time at exactly this time, and then that person will email this person, and then that person will put it out to the league what happened, and then the third person will update the rosters by Friday. And that's everything in it.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's unbelievably complicated.
Yeah.
And this is Mark's first year in it.
Yeah. I'm replacing somebody who you want to talk about nosediving a team that I have to rebuild.
Oh,
right.
no.
Holy shit.
And that's part of it. Like when every new player who comes in has to take over an old team.
Yeah.
Right.
And obviously if that person has left, it's because they were doing so shit.
Yeah.
That they were willing to leave their team.
Wow.
It's pretty bad. I feel like I can work with what I got though. I have a plan. We'll see how it goes. But I'm excited to talk about it on the air. I think it'll be fun.
So Mark and I are in a league. It's weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that. You can follow along with us. Do we want to do any plugs? You can find us on our other show.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about the other show.
You can find us on our other show, which is completely different, and the audiences would probably never cross over. Pod TGIF podcast, where we talk about Steve Urkel a lot.
Yep.
And Frank and Carol from Step by Step. Mm-hmm. And our next episode will be about weddings.
Oh yeah,
really fun because we're gonna torture ourselves with the 2-part Full House wedding episode.
Listen, we all knew it was coming though, so like we'll be okay with that. But there's got to be there's got to be TGIF episodes that have to do with football. I'm sure we could do an episode, a crossover episode.
Oh, there must be. There is literally no
something.
chance that Frank didn't meet the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, right. Exactly. If
There's
not, we'll just do a whole episode about Coach. We've already talked about it.
Sure, right. We got the Coach cast coming up soon.
Dauber pod.
That's a deep cut from the other show. So. All right. That's it. We're going to come back with the NFC next week, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.
Bye.